Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to take a look at the Stamina Dragonknight PV build. I do have a written guide on my website. I showcase buffed, unbuffed character screenshots. I have the rotation there with the combat metrics bars. Everything is there. Link in the description below. In the first part of the video, I just want to quickly go over the things we are wearing, champion points and so on. In the second part, going to explain the rotation. And we'll also showcase a target dummy test and a 6 million dummy, and then we will analyze the combat metrics bars. Okay, let's get started. The unbuff, this looks like this here. We're running the Lover Mundo Stone. We're running normal blue health stem food. We can sustain this now. I will get into sustain a little bit later. Then the weapon power pots for brutality, savagery, and they restore stamina as well. In terms of race, so the best sustain still Red Guard. It also has the best damage at the moment. You can be a Khajiit or an Orc as well. I will explain in a second why. I did a lot of tests and there is a few new cool things that we can use to make sustain 5 times as good basically. Also, please make sure not to forget to subscribe. I will definitely do more videos in the future. Thank you very much. Now, in terms of gear, we have Relican, Advancing, and Valley Ref. So a pretty basic setup. This is for single target, remember. For AoE fights, you might not want Relican. Keep that in mind. I do have alternative gear setups, beginner setups on my website as well, if you don't have access to that kind of gear yet. All on the website. Once again, Relican. The more it stacks, the more damage it does, so it can do a lot of damage. You will see that later. Valley Draft, same thing. The 1-piece bonus is nice, the extra weapon damage, and the 2-piece bonus does about 1.7k to 2k DPS, so it's pretty nice. Advancing Yokida, aka Berserking Warrior, and Berserking Warrior is a set, so you really want this set. If you don't have this, you can obviously run things like Hunting's Rage, Briarheart, and so on. But I really recommend farming this. It's a little bit pain to get, but there is a lot of Hellra farming groups, so it's just a matter of time. Just need to keep going. At the moment, I have 2 Bloodthirsty, 1 infused. You can also run 3 Bloodthirsty or 2 infused, 1 Bloodthirsty. It's really up to you. Whatever you prefer. Then we have infused poison damage enchant. This dagger, and on the second one I absorb stem enchant, also infused dagger. I recommend using 2 daggers. Only if you're a Khajiit you can run a dagger or an axe, but usually 2 daggers are better. Master and bow on the back bar with a weapon damage enchantment. That's more or less a pretty standard setup that we already used. Champion points on my site as well. That's the setup going to be working the best. Now, if you want, you can get the Butcher passive. But I found it, I had a little bit more DPS with this setup here. It's up to you, you can get it. I mean, you need to put like 6 more points here and you should get it. Something like that. Then we have, that's it. The CP on the website might differ a little bit, but it's more or less a standard setup. I also do have a specific trial red CP article in the trial section, so you can mitigate more damage. But blue CP are usually the most important ones, like this here and this. Now, in terms of skill setup, we have Rearming Trap, Venomous Claw, Rending Slashes, Noxious Breath, Camo Hunter, or whatever you want to use here, Dawnbreaker, Endless Hail, Rearming Trap again, Cult Drops, Poison Ejection, Flames of Oblivion, Standard. Now a buddy of mine, Lico, I will link his channel in the description as well. He found out that, like previously, we used Crushing Weapon as spammable. This costs 1.9k stem. Rending Slashes costs 1.5k, so it's a little bit cheaper. And I did a lot of tests using this here, using this as spammable, using this as spammable. We got most DPS when we just spam Rending Slashes. That's just how it is. First off, your sustain is like twice as good with Crushing Weapons. I really had issues actually sustaining with Rending Slashes. I don't have sustain issues. You could also choose to run Venomous Claw if you're a Khajiit. if you can just run Venomous Claw as a spammable, and you will have 100% stamina all the time. That's this. But again, when we use Rending Slash as a spammable, it deals simply the most, like we get the highest DPS. The skill setup, again, if you want to run Crushing Weapon, you also can run it. We have here a flex spot, so Camouflage Hunter is only here to get the 3% extra weapon damage. If you feel like you want the mix, you can obviously also run it like this. Not that big of a difference. But again, sustain with this setup is a lot worse. Because we have worse sustain, it will result in less DPS most likely. That's the problem. Anyway, let's get to the rotation. The rotation on a stem DK is easier than on other classes because it's basically a static rotation. So what do we do? Before you start the fight, you always want to activate Flames of Oblivion. Then you drop Trap, Endless Hail, Cult Drops, Poison Injection, you weapon swap. Venomous Claw, Noxious Breath, 4 times Rending Slashes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rearming Trap, weapon swap, Endless Hail, restart. Only thing that doesn't fit into the rotation is Flames of Oblivion. You reactivate this every second rotation, but nothing else changes. Just to quickly show again. And we do this fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, prep, weapon swap. One, 2, 3, 4, prep, weapon swap, and so on. Now one thing you have to be aware of. First off, do light attacks between each abilities. Very important. Light attacks are very freaking strong. If you don't do light attacks, enchantments might not proc, and just you lose a lot of damage. That's the #1 damage loss of most people. Then, another very important thing. So we have trap on the back bar and trap on the front bar. Try to use a trap on the front bar. Because the longer we are on the front bar, the better. Because we have 2 daggers here, and it's just we have overall better stats on the front bar. So 64, 3.3. Bow bar 56, 2.6. So we have way less weapon damage on the back bar. That's why I say you drop the trap, then you weapon swap. The next thing you need to know is, when we go from the back bar to the front bar, so you drop this, poison injection, and immediately weapon swap. Then you do a light attack, and then you do venomous claw. Now when we go from the front bar to the back bar, it's a little bit different. So we apply stuff, do a light attack, a rearming trap, light attack, weapon swap, endless hail. That's because the animation is way smoother if you do a transition like this. That's the thing. Previously what we used to do is swap this, do light attack and then endless hail. But it's a little bit slower. We will stay longer on the back bar. That's why we do trap, light attack, weapon swap, hail. You see how fast it goes. And make sure to activate quick cast ground abilities. If you have this on off or automatic, you will lose 3k deeps, no joke. It needs to be on. It's so much faster when it auto casts. That's it about the rotation. Let's see the 6 million pars. before we check out the parse once again, Rending Slash is our spammable right now. The reason being, it costs 1.5k stamina opposed to Crushing Weapons, which is 1.9k. So Rending Slashes, it deals a little bit less damage, but the sustain is so much better, we end up having more DPS because we can run blue food. Crushing Weapon, very tricky. If you're a Khajiit or an Orc, you can also spam Venomous Claw instead of Rending Slashes. If you use Venomous Claw as a spammable, you will have 100% stamina at the end of the fight, even as a Khajiit. That's, you see, 700 stamina. You basically gain stem while using this almost. Well, actually you do, yeah. And when we now look at the parse, first off, just to show you, I did a few tests here with the Crushing Weapon. It was like 60k, but sustain was super bad. I had like 0 stem at the end of the 6 million dummy parse. I also did one where I spammed the Noxious Breath for fun. It's a little bit lower, 57k, but you also have really good sustain. And I also did one with Venomous Claw on a Khajiit, but I can't find it anymore. Maybe I will try to upload it separately if I can find it again. But this here is with Rending Slashes. It's the highest I got. Now, one thing to note, this is not self-buffed. I had Vulnerability, Off Balance, a little bit low here. Kinda sucks, and I had Major Fracture. Reaper's Mark is a Major Fracture. I don't know why it bugs out here. I also had Combat Prayer. I will list up all those buffs on my website, so like you know what I used. Like if Off Balance had been 25%, which it usually should be, I also had pretty bad crit on those two abilities. Probably could have hit 62, even 63k. But anyway, other than that, when we look at it, so advancing or like Berserking Warrior, it's like 92% of the 5 stacks. Our average weapon creep was 77.3%. It's really nice. 4.3k weapon damage. This test was done with 2 Bloodthirsty, 1 infused, and max stem 32.6. And when we look at it, like again, like Maelstrom Bow is very important. Endless Hail deals so much damage with the Maelstrom Bow. You really should try to get it. Same with Relican. Stamina is getting carried by Relican and Maelstrom Bow. That's what I'm trying to say here. Since forever already. So try to get them if possible. Same for advancing. I mean, you can use it. If you don't have it, run Hunting's Rage or Briarheart or something else. But you can farm it in Hellra Citadel in normal, so it's not that big of a deal. It just takes a while. Poisoned weapon deals a lot of damage. Now the cool thing with a stem DK, so 36 time poisoned proc. What they have, first off, increases damage of your burning and poison status effect. When you apply poison to an enemy, you restore 500 stamina, so you also get a little bit of sustain back from this, which is cool. It's only a very small portion though, but still. Belly Draft did 1.7k, a little bit low, but whatever. Standard, actually not bad. You could use Bow Ulti, but I got like 1k less. 2k less, something like that, so actually standard is a little bit better. Absorb Stem Glyph. You see it deals 2.6k damage, that's only like 1k less than the poison, but you get 200 extra stamina per second from this glyph. It's so freaking strong. You really need this. You really need this Absorb Stamina glyph. Battle Roar, which procs when we use ultimate basically. Base regen, so yeah, sustain is really not good on a stem DK, but using Rending Slash as spammable makes it a lot better. Okay, I guess that's more or less it. I hope you understood. Once again, the Combat Medics parts will be on my website, rotation is there, everything is there. So, link in the description. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. We also do have a community Discord. You can join if you want. The link is also in the description. If you have any questions or you just want to show some stuff, somebody will always reply. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Thanks very much and have a nice day.